Dr. Ben, founder of Well Health and Chiropractic, and today we're going to talk about the 7 reasons why chiropractic care benefits infants. Now, as we get started here, I want you guys to know at home that I personally, as of today, have a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 5-year-old, and this is my world. So I've adjusted lots and lots of infants professionally, but also I have 3 of my own, and I can tell you from experience how important chiropractic care is. The first 2 reasons why chiropractic it benefits infants is number 1 is the first 9.5 months when they're in mom's womb. Your little infant has been shoved in like this position for a long time. Particularly that last month, they get really cramped up in there and they're trying to kick and push. And when they come out, it's unreasonable to expect your new baby to not have any vertebra shifted out of position. The second reason, the birth process is insane for infants. And I know this personally. My 3rd baby was born at home, and they got there before, my baby got there before the midwives got there. And actually I delivered my baby girl in our bathtub. And it was crazy, let me tell you that. But I will tell you firsthand, when a baby is born, that process is crazy. As a matter of fact, when they're coming out of the womb, their head is rotating around. Specifically, in the hospital situation, a lot, if the shoulders get stuck, they will just pull on that baby's head. They'll use the forceps or the suction cup thing, happens so much, and they suck on that baby's head and they're pulling. And I mean, it's a crazy amount of pressure. There's a lot of studies out there that quote that that's like way more pressure than you would think, like 40, 50. I think the last study I read said there's like 70 pounds of pressure, 70 pounds of pressure to pull a baby out by their neck. It's horrible for them. Some people say, well, nah, not me. My baby had a C-section. Well, that's even worse. Right now in the United States, we do what's called a bikini cut, which is an incision this big to get a whole baby out. So they'll cut that and then they'll reach in and grab the baby out. And it is just a horrible process for your baby's spine. And that is why we have to get our infants adjusted. All of our babies, my baby's been adjusted within minutes of being born. Most of our patients in here that have babies, they'll get their babies adjusted within the first, day or 2 or week of life to make sure things are moving and they're lined up correctly. Of course, let me just take a step between, we talked about reason number 1, reason number 2, and then before we get to reason number 3, adjusting an infant is not like a big dangerous process. As a matter of fact, you just use your fingertips to adjust them. It doesn't look like, some big, it doesn't look like a WWF wrestling move. It looks like we just use our fingertips, and we're highly trained, particularly here at Well, how to adjust infants. The third reason why you want to get your infants adjusted is because of colic. And colic is a huge, real thing with babies. There's a lot of things that cause colic, but we find that chiropractic care helps almost all of them. And that is, colic is often caused by acid reflux. It's often caused by gas in the belly. But when you adjust the babies, what that allows their body to do, the adjustment will generally help with acid reflux, and the adjustment generally helps their bowels to be able to better deal with gas. And I can tell you personally, all 3 of my babies dealt with colic, and it's a benefit when your dad's a chiropractor. I would adjust them at my house. We have a chiropractic table, and I'd adjust them like every day. It felt like for a minute. Again, that's not typical, but I did because I could. And our babies would have they'd have like a colicky moment, and then it would be gone in like a day. A lot of our patients have come in with colicky babies. As a matter of fact, we have a baby program in our Well clinics because we see it so much, and it's such a miraculous thing. Usually within about, literally hours of being adjusted, the babies are sleeping and they're on their way to healing. So if your baby's dealing with colic, that is definitely something you want to get fixed with chiropractic care. The 4th reason you want to get your baby adjusted is to prevent ear infections, or if they have ear infections, get them cleared up. That's actually one of the things that put chiropractic on the map, is adjusting babies and children and their ear infections going away. What we generally see is this top bone will shift out of position, which doesn't allow the eustachian tubes to drain, builds up pressure, causes infection. We adjust the babies, eustachian tube trains, all is good. Actually, my nephew recently, he was dealing with some ear infections. The doctor was actually, the pediatrician was recommending tubes, and we got him adjusted. Within a week, ears all drained out. Doctor says no tubes, we're good. The fifth reason that you need to get your baby adjusted is to boost their immune system. You got to realize every single cell inside of your body, with the exception of your red blood cells, is an immune cell. And how does your body control all of those cells? Well, it's your brain and spinal cord. So if there's any pinches or pressures on your brain and spinal cord, your immune system is going to be decreased. So research shows that when you get adjusted, it actually boosts your IgEs. That's going to allow your white blood cells to better attack. It's going to boost your immune function, and our kids don't get sick as often. I can tell you personally that my children, they're just like every other kid, where they are out in the middle of the petri dish of preschool and all the playgrounds and stuff. And whenever they're getting ready to go back to preschool or whatnot, we are adjusting them like crazy, and they get sick way less than all of their friends and their neighbors. And it's a really important thing to get your kids adjusted. The sixth reason that you need to get your small infants and toddlers adjusted is because kids are a disaster when it comes to learning how to walk and crawl. If they're anything like my children, they're standing up and they're falling down, they're standing up and they're falling down, and that is a constant normal process of development between crawling and walking. Well, think about if that was you, and you stood up and you did a complete seat drop and hit the floor. If you did that like 10 times a day, what would happen to you? You'd be in a wheelchair. Well, your infant, your toddler does that all day long. And that's why chiropractic care is amazing, to make sure that they're getting a good start. So they're going to mess all their vertebrae up, and we got to put them all back together so they have a good foundation for their spinal health starting at a young age. All right, number 7, I think, is the most important reason why you need to get your infant toddler adjusted, and that is real simple. It's because their bones are developing at a young age. When your baby is born, their bones are mostly cartilage. They're turning into bone, and that is the best time for those bones to be shaped correctly. If you have a vertebra that's out of position, that bone is literally going to be shaped and scalloped differently, and it's going to be harder to reshape it as an adult. But when your kid is newborn, you have an opportunity to start from scratch. So that's why you need to make sure you get them adjusted early and often as possible. Now, those are the 7 reasons why chiropractic care benefits infants. Listen, if you're listening to this and you have infants and you want to take them to the best, an office that specializes in pediatric care, I'm going to recommend that you click below, take the offer, take advantage of that $39 offer. You can come on in, let one of our well-certified doctors take a look and see the condition of your infant or baby to start with, and maybe we could even get you some sleep tonight if your baby's suffering from colic. Well, hey guys, I'm Dr. Ben, and those are the 7 reasons why chiropractic care benefits infants.